In order to really understand the lost city of Washington, you really need to understand the road to the lost city of Washington. And what is the road to the lost city of Washington? Why, it's the Virginia and Truckee Toll Road, of course.
Now, this road is one of the many toll roads that went up to Virginia City. There used to be toll roads that are now public roads, like Geiger Grade, 6 Mile Canyon.
Everything changed in 1859 when a little thing called gold was discovered. And suddenly, the little-known name of a down-and-out miner, Henry Comstock, was at the tip of everyone's tongue. And with the gold fields of California dwindling out, it seemed everyone wanted to come try their luck at the Comstock. At first, the roads were hastily made access roads by the early miners. But once word got out of the little discovery, the population grew just a smidgen. And as the population grew, the area grew. And as the area grew, the state grew. A whole new state, in fact, the newly formed state of Nevada. The problem didn't have any state funding, especially for roads. And with the influx of wagon traffic, it quickly became apparent that roads were needed. Roads that could handle the massive amount of wagons. Wagons full of freight, wagons full of mining equipment, wagons full of ore, wagons full of wood, and wagons full of the 25,000 people headed to the Comstock. And the answer to Nevada's little monetary problem came in the form of toll roads.
So I'm standing right here where the toll gate's at on the road to Washington, the Washington Road up to Virginia City. Now this was started out as a toll road. There was a toll franchise on this road, and basically what that meant was
individuals and private companies could apply for the right to operate and maintain a 20-year toll franchise, where they could charge a predetermined amount of money to the travelers using their road.
Right here, what's behind me right over here is the toll house. So this is this imposing structure right here, this beautiful chimney, and we're gonna go down and take a look at the house in a little bit. This was the house of the toll keeper.
In exchange for this, they had to pay for the grading, upkeep, and security of the road. Not to mention a sizable monthly fee to the state of Nevada, because these toll franchises, they were making money hand over fist. With an estimated $1,000 in tolls every day and $3,000 every night. To put that in perspective, that's $74,000 a day by today's standards. Yeah, you heard that right. $74,000 per day. What?
Now, it might not look like much today, but this road that we're on right here was actually a pretty widely used road.
Our road, for the purposes of this story, begins back in the early 1860s as a series of interconnected logging roads. That is until 1862, when a gentleman by the name of Sturtevant teamed up with H. Miller and filed for a land claim along the Truckee River, right where Lockwood sits today. And the two quickly formed the Truckee Lumber Toll and Road Company, with the goal of creating a crude road to haul lumber from the Truckee River to Virginia City. Not only was it advertised as the shortest route from Virginia City to the Truckee River, it also provided Sturtevant and Savage with direct access to the Red Mountain claims. And this road began at Sturtevant's ranch and ended at Lousetown. The area that would affectionately be known as Lousetown first started showing up on the map in 1863 as Orleans Flat. And Orleans Flat sat at a very important spot where several toll roads converged into one. The area, which informally became known as Louisatown after its most famous residents, had by 1864 become a very important busy way station and toll house. A suburb for the working man, with its multiple saloons and freight yards, it attracted the usual rough and tumble types, such as teamsters, logging men, and sheep herders. Because at this time, it was much cheaper for the average working man to live on the outskirts of the famous Virginia City. And many of the workers, known as the lesser citizens of Virginia City, were affectionately called louses. And over time, the nickname Lousetown stuck. But don't let the name fool you. Lousetown was quite the little town. It had the first telegraph line to Reno, the largest and most important toll station in the entire area, a first-rate ice reservoir. Oh, and then there was the famous quarter-mile racetrack, which was the first in all of Nevada. And this racetrack, well, it included a well-stocked bar, swanky clubhouse, which had water piped in from Quail Springs, a boarding house, several outbuildings, and even a museum. And this racetrack was so famous that the National Guard used it for horse drills, target practice, and mastering of mounted sword techniques. But more importantly than a racetrack, this town sat at the end of the Virginia and Truckee River Toll Road. And about 1/3 up the way from the beginning of this early freight/toll road sat the town of Washington.
Hey guys, Harmony here. I am standing in Washington. No, not Washington, Washington. No, not Washington, D.C. I'm in Washington, Nevada. Yeah, you heard that right. Washington, Nevada. Which is in Story County, and it sits right between where Virginia City and Lockwood are. Now, these imposing structures you see here behind me, this beautiful, unfortunately semi-graffitied, I'll try to not get the dick graffiti right there. That guy's a dick, literally. The ruins out here are actually pretty decent as far as ruins go, considering that the Washington Mill ceased operation in the 1800s.
By the year 1864, the first of the Comstock bonanzas had dwindled, causing the gold and silver seekers to branch out. This led to the Red Mountain Mining District. February 29th, 1864, a new town developed, Washington City.
Structure that I'm standing up on and inside right now has been sitting here since 1850. It started showing up on the maps around 1850, 1860.
There was much hope for the small town. The Red Hill mines were expected to pay big time, causing the railroad to come calling in 1866. That's right, in its heyday, it seemed that nothing could stop Washington City from becoming the next town to be.
So it was not in operation too long. It ceases to show up on the maps around 1880.
The tracks actually ended up never making it to Washington because the Central Pacific changed their mind and bypassed it completely. And then later that year, when the V&T was completed, suddenly there was a lot easier and cheaper way to get freight to Virginia City, and the old toll road was no longer needed. But the true nail in Washington's coffin came with the mines. Even though there had been a lot of promise and hope for the Red Mountain Mining District, in the end it didn't just quite pan out, causing the small mill to close up shop and the people to leave and head to where the jobs were. And that old toll road that started this whole thing, well, it might be forgotten, but it is far from gone. In fact, it's still passable today. Beginning at Lockwood, where Sturtevant's Ranch sat in the 1800s, it is a great way to make your way up to Virginia City and pass by what was once the glory of Washington.
Yesterday I heard a lover sigh, goodbye, oh me, oh my. 7 times he got aboard his train, And 7 times he hurried back to kiss his love again and tell her, Tootsie, goodbye. Tootsie, don't cry. The choo-choo train that takes me away from you, no words can tell how sad it makes me. Kiss me, Tootie, and then do it over again. Watch for the mail, I'll never fail. If you don't get a letter, then you'll know I'm in jail. Tootsie, don't cry. Tootsie, goodbye.
Check out this chimney. It is insane. Look at this chimney right here behind me, guys. Bam. Toll House chimney. Still standing here since the 1800s. Now that is some fine craftsmanship right there, if you ask me. They don't make them like this anymore because I'm telling you right now, last time I built a chimney, it didn't last for 200 years. It didn't last at all because I never built a chimney because I don't know how to build a chimney. Jerry, do you know how to build a chimney?
Yeah.
Do you think it would last for 150 years?
No.
I don't think so either.